I would like now to invite Jodi, the Manager of Local Immigration Partnership, Lanark and Renfrew, to share with us her team experience working remotely. Jodi, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much. So Local Immigration Partnership of Lanark and Renfrew County was established in 2011. And so prior to COVID-19 rocking everybody's world, the service model was in person. And so a year ago, whenever I took over managing Local Immigration Partnership, there was a complete kind of turnover of our entire team. And so everybody was starting in the remote environment at the same time. And so based on that, that gives a little bit of context for what I'm about to share with our experience. And so we really look at the hybrid service delivery model. Really, it's a combination of the best of both the conventional support model and offers the flexibility in how work is done, where it's done, and how we're able to connect with our community. And so after our experience over the last 2 years, remote access and delivery are not going anywhere. We know that they're not going anywhere. And so we're looking to test out a hybrid service delivery model in the coming year. We are looking at some of the difficulties in implementing a hybrid delivery service model is that connecting and building relationships with newcomers in our community as part of our research has proven to be challenging at times because that lack of face-to-face interaction within the community means that it takes a lot more time and effort in some cases to not only share our goals in why we're connecting with our newcomer population, but also in creating a space where our newcomers feel comfortable in sharing their experiences, in sharing their opinions and their needs. And so our umbrella organization is actually Algonquin College's Pembroke campus, who holds the IRCC contract for Local Immigration Partnership. And so over the last year, we've had to follow the organization's pandemic protocols. And so as soon as the spring term starts, which is, we're only weeks away from that, we'll be able to host in-person events and activities in our community. And so though COVID public health guidelines have eased, we are still, we have to adhere to the college's protocols. And so the hybrid model is within arm's reach right now. And our team has only known, again, like I shared, that remote delivery work environment with each team member being hired, onboarded, and working remotely over the last year. I have one team member who I've never met in person. And to help ensure that our remote environment works for all of us, some of the strategies that I've used, we have bi-weekly one-on-one meetings where I meet with each of our team members, and that time is used however that team member needs it to be used. So whether that's just an opportunity to have a casual conversation, whether it's work specific questions, whether it's a little bit of all of the above, we're able to connect and talk about goals and ensure that relationship is developing, even though, again, in the one instance that we've never even met in person. And it's also allowed us the space to connect in different ways because it's custom to each of my team members' needs, which has proven to be effective. The team also has weekly huddles to ensure that we're all on the same page. So even though we're a cross-functional team, we're working towards the same goals by having that regular reoccurring touch point, that touchdown meeting on a weekly basis. And that's over and above regular meetings that we would have. And so the approach that we're going to be taking for the hybrid model is that we're going to be looking at a 3-and-2 model. So with 3 days in office and 2 days at home, or vice versa, depending on the week. And we'll be flexible based on our employees' needs, but also our community members' needs or our clients' needs. And so some of the challenges that have arisen since this hybrid model has been implemented is that Or what we anticipate will be a challenge is that one of our team members lives outside of our area, so our catchment area of Lanark and Renfrew County, just outside of Ottawa. And so through the remote work environment, we've actually had the opportunity, which has never happened with Local Immigration Partnership of Lanark and Renfrew County before, is that we've had the opportunity to hire and work with really talented people, Farah being one of those people who technically lives outside, or at the time when she lived with or worked with LIP, lived outside our area. And so it would be unrealistic in some cases to consider that really highly skilled and talented folks to join our team would be moving to our more rural location. And so, and then again, the circumstances, it's been a silver lining. And so now that we're shifting towards a hybrid model, this means that that I'll have to be conscientiously strategic in how I build the framework to ensure that this one team member that's currently on part of the LIP team, that they don't feel left out because they may not be in the office on 1 or 2 days a week. And so another thing to consider too is that our catchment area is very large geographically. We oversee 2 of the largest counties in Ontario. And so it will be a change over the last 2 years of working remotely to host activities and events and meetings in places where you may have to drive an hour and a half one way to get to one of our activities. And so considering that some of our community members who volunteer and work on our working groups, they're very excited to have in-person meetings moving forward. And right now, on average, I have anywhere from 5 to 7 hours of meetings on a daily basis. And so taking into consideration if 25% of those meetings were to move to in-person, with the commute times and our team's ability to connect with more people, that'll be diminished because there'll be more of that commute time. And so, and I think a lot of people are coming to the realization, at least anecdotally through conversations, is that virtual meetings, again, are more than likely going to be here to stay on a regular basis outside of kind of special meetings, it does appear. And so in looking at these challenges, one of my priorities will be, I would say my main priority is really focusing in on that team cohesion, because it's really, it is most certainly a priority because our team is small. And so our team is only as strong as each team member collectively. And so we really have excellent synergy. And so I don't want to see any of that change because we're moving to this hybrid model and having one team member possibly being excluded from that experience. When it comes to language barriers and potential struggles for our clients in that digital world, so our new website was launched just under a year ago, and so the entire site again has a translation function so that newcomers to our website portal looking for that settlement information that's been specifically crafted for them, that it's translated in I forget exactly how many languages, hopefully every language under the sun. And so we do want to make sure that there's accessibility in that regard around language barriers. And some of our newcomers in the community have shared that they're self-conscious about their English speaking abilities. And so it makes them a little less open in some instances to participate in some of our focus groups or our one-on-one interviews. And so, which is understandable. And we anticipate with more and more Ukrainian refugees, with an asterisk, I realize that they're not refugees technically, coming to our community on a weekly basis as it stands now. We anticipate that translation services really at a community level, where you're leaning on those who speak the language, will be in greater demand for sure. So language barriers, I anticipate, aren't going anywhere, whether we're in a hybrid model or not. And some of the benefits of moving to this hybrid model is that, we're currently planning our first annual multicultural festival, which is going to see a variety of events and activities happen both virtually and in person across our catchment area. So I mentioned that it's a very large geographic area over the month of June. And so again, that hybrid approach allows us to have greater reach, so that we may be having an in-person event or an activity, let's say at a library in one community, but we might be live streaming it so that it is accessible across both counties, regardless of how people choose to participate. And so not only that, but having this hybrid model and retaining the remote opportunities means that we have community members from across our region who are collaborating virtually in this planning and execution. And then we will all be kind of collectively feet on the ground in some instances as this multicultural festival rolls out in June. So the hybrid model, I think I anticipate will serve a lot of greater purpose when it comes to meeting not only our community needs, our newcomer needs, but also our staffing needs as well. So that's a little bit about local immigration partnership and our experience so far.